In everything we do in life, there's nothing like preparation, both in governance. Let me tell you, if you want to run for an office, it is not the moment you win the office that you start making preparation of the potential candidates you want to choose as your ministers, as your advisors. You start making that preparation ahead. Then if you win, good luck. If you did not win also, the whole list will be dumped. But what plays out right now in Nigeria, why you see our leader keep on failing, most majority of them is because the potential candidates they want as advisors, the potential candidate they want as ministers. Take example from President Muhammadu Buhari. Under his administration, almost 1 full year, he couldn't appoint ministers because he didn't prepare for it. President Bola Tinubu, the same thing. I look at both administrations, you can see the kind of, as in trouble, problem, suffering, misery both administrations has pushed Nigerians into. These two people, they don't prepare. And if you notice how they have sent Nigeria backward, Buhari and Tinubu have sent Nigeria back to 100 years back. Not even 10 years, not even 20 years. Because if you check the distance where every other developed nation then right now, compared to where Nigeria did, you will notice that we are hundreds of years backward. This is not where normal nations are. As a result of lack of adequate preparation. You can see the high level of corruption cases that is showcasing. Now today we'll be discussing discussing about more revelations that is coming out from this PFIPC. This agency that they are telling you that is fictitious, that it doesn't exist. Right now, I'm telling you that agency now, more stories is coming out from this agency. More revelation. Because they wanted to dump all the responsibility, all the load on top of Prince Adeyemi. But the man said no. He has revealed something important that every single Nigerian need to know today on this live stream. There is also a very important report from IMF that every single Nigerian should be aware. This report from IMF is also what? In fact, I don't know, comparing this revelation from IMF and this Presidential Foreign Intervention Promotion Council, I don't know, these two scandals, these two looting revelation, these two criminal activity. I don't know the one that is bigger. I don't know this budget issue, this budget revelation, of budget spending revelation, or the Presidential Foreign Intervention Promotion Council. Because I'm trying to weigh the two to know that the one that is bigger in magnitude than each other. And every single Nigerian, when you come across this live stream, I would like you to pay adequate attention because this is massive. This is our destiny that these people are crippling. This is our resources. Now, the same money where they're supposed to take care of us. Look at people being so hungry. Price of everything has gone so high. And they are telling you that 2%, what trillions, is going into what? Off budget. That they are spending this money without accountability. That's what they are trying to tell you. It's off budget spending. And here we will minimize the report. This is an amount of money. This amount of money has accumulated to 2% of the whole Nigerian GDP. That they are spending this 2% of our GDP without even seeing it in any record. No accountability. Nobody knows where the money is going to. Nobody knows where he's spending it because it's not in record. It is not in the budget. Now, this is another word, criminal bigger. Because check, the other one is just 1.3 billion already allocated. And 27-point-something billion meant for the office to take off. But this 2% is counting in trillions of naira. I repeat, this off budget is 2% of our GDP and it's running in trillions. This is what they said. The 2% GDP discrepancy, the IMF discovered that public spending equivalent to 2% of Nigerian GDP was completely omitted from recent budget and implementation report. Now, with this article, we make a show come post this thing. You can see this thing that is on my screen right now. It says accumulating to around what? 8.8 trillion naira unaccounted for. Nobody knows the money to disappear. This is our in Nigeria. PFIPC is even 27, which is not yet spent. 1.3 billion already allocated. But this one is telling you that 8.something trillion is being spent in this nation, and nobody knows where the money went to, who spent it, how it disappeared, where the money went to, what is being used for. Nobody knows. In Nigeria, the same country where me and you did, this same country where me and you, they suffer from price of fuel, they suffer from hunger, they suffer from paying children's school fees, they suffer from paying house rent. They are telling you that 8.something trillion just vanished. It's unaccounted for. Imagine somebody that is going to IMF for him to borrow him more money. And IMF is telling you this. Do you think IMF will even borrow him more money? After this revelation? After this discovery? That's we'll be waiting, because I know the IMF, they can do undo. As long as Nigerian resources is not going to Europe. But Nigerians, this is the calamity we are into. Aside from this, because I wanted to start from Femi Gbajabiamila, the revelation, new revelation that Ademi reviewed, but I need to break down this. Now, so look at the impact. This off-budget spending artificial minimize the reported fiscal deficit, creating a major gap between government official deficit number and the actual financial borrowing. Remember, in Nigeria right now, we are spending more than we are earning. That is where you see this mention of what? Deficit. That is telling you that what Nigeria as a country we are spending is more than what we are generating so far. And do you know that in Nigeria, 53% of our GDP is used to service loan, not to pay back, just servicing. 53% of our revenues, the revenue that we generate on yearly basis, is used to service loans. And here they are telling you that 1.8 trillion is going to off budget. Money, you don't know where it's going. It is not on the yearly budget. Now, this thing everybody is calling for accountability. Who do we hold accountable? This issue of what? This off budget has been running for a very long time. This one didn't just start under Bola Tinubu, but it's still happening under his own administration. Why? The other story, which is a PFI, is the one that is under Tinubu mainly. This Presidential Foreign Intervention Promotion Council. You see? And this report from IMF is telling you that 60% of Nigerians right now have been dipped into poverty. 60%. Imagine 60%. Okay, look at it. Poverty level 63%. Severe food insecurity. 27 million Nigerians face acute food insecurity in this country called Nigeria. 0.35%, the 0.35% problem. Independent analysis and the report note that federal government budget allocation toward poverty elevation sit at 0. There's no poverty elevation program in Nigeria. Nobody. Where I am, I've never seen any program. Because when they talk about this poverty elevation, there is not, even when IMF is reporting. Money might have been allocated for poverty elevation. What does the poverty elevation do? Those are the money they pay for us to have free health care, especially for both on our education, in order to reduce the amount of money we pay, in order to help curb high price of goods. Then also, even with the disaster, all of those things, there is nothing coming out from those angles. There is nothing. So there is no amount of that. I can't see any money allocated for what? In order to help curb this high, especially right now that inflation has skyrocketed. If there's any Nigeria receiving any money, if there's any Nigeria receiving free healthcare of any kind, average Nigerians, poor Nigerians, let me know in my comment section. I myself have never experienced anything of such. Now, what is the IMF recommendation? They recommended one for Nigeria to maintain a neutral fiscal stance. What is that? This means Nigeria have to start spending based on our revenue. Look at it. The government must avoid aggressive spending in the year 2026 to support this inflation. Inflation while aggressively protecting priority social safety nets. There's no safety net. Expand cash transfer program. The IMF welcomed recent tax reform but noted that further tax policy measures are required over the medium term to fully fund scaled-up transparent cash. There is no, how can you tax Nigerians? They don't already overtax Nigerians. So this recommendation doesn't work. Enforce budgetary integrity. Now here it was. The fund explicitly called for what? The fund explicitly called for accelerating public financial management reform to permanently eliminate off-budget spending. Remember that off-budget that I keep on calling. That is taking 2% of our GDP, amounting to 1.8, how much? Amounting to 1.8 trillion. IMF is still hammering on that. For government to what? Move away from that. Because then this is one of the criminal. Now, so now where they from? They finish Nigeria be this. Money go disappear. Minister of Finance, how this money take the vanish? Central Bank of Nigeria. Attorney General of the country, how money take the vanish should not their way. That is why you see all of these individuals. Once they leave office, you see all of them, they will be so rich, massively rich, unaccounted wealth. All this recommendation from an IMF against this off-budget spending. How you wanted the cat, you give fish. You carry fish, you give it rat or cat. It's a no shopper. Cat or rat. Because what we have as leaders in this country, they are all rats. As simple as that. The leaders we have in Nigeria, every one of them, they are rats. There is none of them you will put in that office. This off-budget, tell them for nothing 100 years to come, they will never eliminate it. This PFI is because, you can see, because I'll be discussing very soon about the testimony revelation from Ademi against Femi Gbajabiamila. PFI office, can't you see? This office is supposed to be running without people knowing about it. Now that people knows about it, because the revelation started from October last year, 2025. But when they try to cover it up, they notice that they don't cover them up. According to Adeni, one of the persons involved in this setting up of this PFIPC office don't buy. The man buy whether not buy they buy him or just buy by himself. So the one of them don't buy. That's why I see very dark man calling that both Prince Adeyemi, whatever how they pronounce the Yoruba name, make they know you say the man buy for prison. Because that is another way in order to silence everything. Please, like I always say, if you are just coming across my platform, do hit that subscribe button, like, comment, and what? Share. Now, like I was saying, I've been talking about a new revelation from Prince Adeyemi. Because the man revealed something, a shocking revelation that Nigerians need to know. And I will be reading it out because that will make more sense. So that we'll read out the full details of an interview, a revelation from Prince Adeyemi against what? Against Femi Gbajabiamila. Because Femi is trying to what? Relegate this issue to SGF, Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Mr. George Akume, and the President. Because they know once it gets to about the President, then there's nothing you can do about it. Now, I'm trying to what? Read out the revelation from this particular man. This is what he said. An allegation about 400 million against Femi Gbajabiamila. How Femi Gbajabiamila collected 400 million from him. This is Adeniyi's revelation. And asking for more 200 million. And also asking for 48% of the 27.4 billion meant for this same office. It may be, is all this disagreement why they decided to expose the office because they noticed that the person where they don't put for this particular position, no grey again. Please on my comment section, what do you think? Do you think why they decided to expose Prince Adeniyi? Because this man's office is run in the Federal Secretariat. He has been meeting what? Foreign dignitaries. He has been meeting top government officials, ministers, advisors. He has been meeting what? Directors, CEOs of big agencies. And somebody coming to tell me that the office that is running from a Federal Secretariat is a fake office in this country. Nigerians, we are not dumb. So this is a revelation. This is a revelation from Prince Adeniyi. This is what he said. At a press conference on June 25th, 2026, Prince Adeniyi accused the chief of staff to the president, Femi Gbajabiamila, of receiving 400 million through a proxy. You know what you mean by a proxy? It is indirect. Femi Gbajabiamila no receive them by himself. He receive them through somebody else. Where we say you know even fit trace. If all those money where they go hand over, you go see people they go cover their face with mask. You don't know them. Plate number no day. And you must be maybe even midnight. They go collect the money in cash, no bank transfer. Where we see even want trace and no evidence to show say he paid that amount of money. Say also, and later demanding, look at it too. Later started demanding another what? 200 million from him. 200 million from him also to facilitate the appointment as a director of presidential for intervention. This one at the kind of money where this man they claim say he spend for this. And you know finish from there. So Adeniyi also alleged that he rejected a request by chief of staff for 48% of the 27.4 billion meant for this office to take off. This is another new revelation. I know so many Nigerians is not aware of this. And chief of staff is trying to tell us that it's anything relating to appointment of ministers, advisors, any office from any federal level that is not involved. That in work not just being a messenger. Telling Nigerians that is the responsibility of appointment and signing solely lie on the president and the secretary to the federation, which is supposed to be George Akume. Nigerian, they see what we dey inside. In this country, when they see the country where we dey into. But Prince Adeniyi is trying to tell you that all of his dealings is with chief of staff to the president, Femi Gbajabiamila. Remember the case of, in case if you know they follow my platform, go back and watch a video I did about Desmond Elliott and Femi Gbajabiamila. You see this thing that Prince Adeniyi is alleging almost collaborated to what something relating to Desmond Elliott. Because you get what we're like trying to say, this issue with Desmond Elliott coming to say, okay, because he can't make Desmond Elliott matter. One bill I say because they involved on trying to impeach Speaker of the House of Assembly of Lagos State. But the Desmond Elliott, they try to let us know, so no, that issue, they don't sort it. It's going to be like, say, maybe Femi is wanting more from Desmond Elliott. But Desmond Elliott can't reject. Then say, Bill, I said, he done too much. That is not taking so much from him. Imagine when you dey office, allocation where they come to your hand, and 70% or 60% of that allocation, they go to your godfather. 30% they come to you for you to work. Now you no go fit do anything. If you decide to use 10%, nothing will remain to your hand. Imagine say their office, they answer as House of Rep member. Why another person now they shop the whole money where they come out from there? Because check, if Black said Desmond Elliott will not agree, another person. And Adeniyi, look at the same story, because if you notice Desmond Elliott, Femi Gbajabiamila, notice Prince Adeniyi, Femi Gbajabiamila, Desmond Elliott, they did everything possible to force him out. And he successfully forced Desmond Elliott out. Because check the stories coming out from Prince Adeni, and check what happened to Desmond Elliot. You see all the collaboration? Is that the terrorism, baby? Now you get the point. Prince Adeni, Desmond Elliot, almost the same thing. What is this thing about Femi Gbajabiamila? Now, aside from that, Nigerians, we need to know the consequences of what these people are doing to us. You that's watching me, you have brothers, you have sisters, you have children. You have a future that you want to be bright. What Femi Gbajabiamila, what President Bola Tinubu, the game they are playing with Nigerians is so massive. This individual eating up the future. Eating up the future of this country. I repeat, they have eaten up the future of Nigeria, and Nigerians are just watching. I repeat, this is eating up the future of a country. The future of this country called Nigeria. Now, the future of Nigeria, this individual, they kolobi, they swallow like frog. They swallow like white python, they swallow cow. This individual, they are wiping away the they swallow the glory, the destiny, the future. I did a video the other day, right? When I showed you this President Donald Trump talking to AI Teddy Roosevelt. There is Theodore Roosevelt, the president of America that ruled America the year 1901 to 1909. You see president talking to AI. You see them talking about cutting edge technology. You see that talking about going to the space. You see that talking going to the mountain iron dome outside the space. You see them building all forms of what? Advanced technology. Okay, everything so advanced. But our leaders here in Nigeria and the whole of Africa, they are so confused of just implementing good education in this country. We are telling you that this fake office, we are telling you that this off budget that is amounting to 2% of the Nigerian GDP, that has accumulated to 8.3 trillion. If they are talking about this office, Presidential Foreign Intervention Promotion Council, that is 27.4 billion is already meant for that office. 1.3 billion is already allocated for that office. This is the future of a full country, and they are borrowing. This is the future of Nigeria, and Nigerians should be aware of this. And we should be aware and start discussing about all of these issues. If not, me and you, it will also boil down to our children, our grandchildren, and great-grandchildren. Because these people, they will keep on, make sure they keep on putting people like them in the office. Unless you join a platform like mine, where we keep on sensitizing everybody in Nigeria, keep on discussing the consequences of all these atrocities. If not, it will go to the next future, the future generation. That's how we keep on going. The more the wars are keep on upgrading. Let me tell you the consequence. The more other nations are developing, the more poorer nations, whom that is not working to advance, will keep on struggling. That's just a simple fact. You remember this parable? They say, where two elephants they fight, now grass, and they suffer them. I repeat, where two elephants they fight, now grass they suffer them. Where all these individuals they milk the economy, now we the masses they suffer them. Like I always say, this is the first time coming across any of my platform. Hit that subscribe button, like, comment, and what? Share.